So I go 10% of every single project you send me. One of my painters one year actually said, okay, 10% of everything. So I'm just going to go talk to the neighbor. And we landed a $7,000 exterior job from that. I paid him $700 right there and then. Welcome back, everybody, to the Off the Tools podcast with your hosts, Joshua Grunenborg and Jimmy Hong. Today, we're going to be diving a little bit into just the concept of seasonality, what to do when it's hot, what to do when it's cold, and everything in between. So, Jimmy, what do you think, man? It's hot right now. What can people be doing to, I guess, keep busy and then maybe prepare themselves for when it gets like a little bit colder?
Yeah, great question, Josh. I think even right now with like production being so hot, it's May, everyone's got job sites going, hopefully multiple, and you're completely off the tools. But yeah, I think like one of the big things I always hear is everyone's like they take the work on and then they slow down their sales. And they're like, "Oh, I'm booked up, so I'm good." And it's like, wow, like I, I just have a firm belief that you should never have to turn away work. And if you're worth it and you do great work, people will wait for you. And I think even if you're booked out like a few months into the summer, it's going to be super busy right now. You could always hire more people, train more people. And if you can't, you should probably look at what you're doing for hiring and if it's really something that you would need in your business. Or the people that are willing to wait, you can book them at the end of summer or even like into the fall, right? Like there's always those opportunities. It's like I always think, even with my painting business, I always thought like, okay, how could I make this work? Right? You should always scale your marketing up. You shouldn't ever have to like tone it down because if it's working and printing you money, you should have something in place to continue that going.
What do you think? Because I completely agree. I don't think you should ever be turning down work either. But like, what mindset do you think the people that are turning down work have? Like, what do you think is going through the brain? Because for me, that was like an easy thing for me to wrap my head around. But people do that.
It's kind of a funny thing because when you look in the slower seasons, the abundance mindset kind of goes out the door. And it's like, oh, I need work, keep my guys busy. But as soon as the summer comes and you're super busy, you're like, oh, I'll be okay. Like my business will be fine. I have enough work for the guys I have now. I don't need to scale to like the next crew. Like I'll have a good summer. The guys will have work. And I think like honestly, it should be the reverse, right? It's like all this work's coming in, your marketing's dialed in, and it's like, okay, how can I hire that next crew? Do I even have a system for hiring to bring on the next person? Are my crews currently, are they self-sufficient where I don't even have to be on the tools, right? Off the tools, right? So yeah, I think just going into it of like figuring it out, throw your hat over the wall and dial in like your processes, whether it's training, hiring to supplement the work coming in. Yeah, you should never have to worry about that and turning away work.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. No, and yeah, that's totally it. I think it's that they're so abundant within the summer, and they're like, this could never go away because it literally lasts for months, right?
Yeah.
So you got your April, May, June, July, even August, where it's bumping, right? You've doubled the total addressable market in terms of exterior work that's now being allowed to go. In some markets, of course, you're still going to be able to do that all year round, but not, and for most markets in America, I would say. But so it's hot right now. What can people be doing to really double down and take advantage of the surging market?
Yeah, great question. I think like firm believer of multiple fishing poles always catch more fish. So if you're whatever you're doing right now, you should either double down, whether it's like Facebook ads, Google ads, next door neighbor marketing. It's nice out. People are happier. People want to spend money. And honestly, just doubling down on what's working right now. And don't be afraid to like try other things now since it is hot, right? Like
Mhm.
everything will work now that everything's nice out and people are starting to go outside more. They start to see like they're peeling paint on their house or, look what my neighbor John got done. Dang, I got to keep up and, get my stuff painted. Or, remodel my basement. It's time. So, yeah, I think just doubling down on everything you're doing right now to get work will just yield you the best return, especially in the hot season to trickle over.
Nice. Okay. Doubling down on everything that you're doing right now, but for the people that are listening, it's like what else can they be doing? It's like, well, not everybody's doing next door neighbor marketing. Not
Yeah.
everybody's putting out flyers. Everyone's putting out money letters, aka just sending a whole bunch of flyers to a whole bunch of houses. Not everybody's doing Facebook ads. Not everybody's doing Google ads. Not everybody's calling people for referrals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Big miss there.
Big miss there. Totally. Anything else come to mind for you?
I would say that
Or do you
pretty
think my
much
list nailed it?
your
Yeah.
list nailed it, man. Like I wouldn't change anything. I would say there's pros and cons to all of those things, right? And there
Yeah.
is like kind of a sequence of which ones you should kind of like do first, and depending on where you're at with like your cash flow, other ones will make more sense. Like for example, if you don't
Sure.
have much cash flow coming in, I would start with like next door neighbor marketing, door to door, all those free ways, put up signs, like all these different things that really wouldn't cost you much, and can yield you a lot of return. And then
Hmm.
as money comes in, then you double down and okay, now it's like let's get Facebook going, let's get Google ads going. You have a full marketing ecosystem with SEO. So all these different things will basically build out your whole marketing side, and then you place it where you want to be.
Hmm. If you're sitting at like 10 to 30K per month, which is probably like I would say the average business, 10 to 30K, that's enough to keep maybe like a guy and like a handyman busy. Where would you start?
10 to 30K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 10 to 30K. You got a couple crews going. You should definitely be off the tools at that point. Um, Even like having a project manager. So, first things first, what's the lowest hanging fruit? 100%, I would go next door neighbor marketing. So, assuming you already have jobs obviously on the go right now, people already see you working, right? Whether you're in the house or out there, they see you come into your neighbor's house, and you've already built like somewhat of a trust. Oh, if my neighbor John's using you guys, I'm sure like I can trust you guys to do my work too. So same, just like our businesses, just training the guys, training your employees to make that a habit to talk to the neighbors before the job and after. So I'd rather them spend like, 15, 20, even maybe 30 minutes before the job, put the flyers in, talk to some neighbors, and then before the job's done at the end of the day, I would have them, again, talk to the neighbors, knock on doors, hey, we're working at John's house at like 123 Street, and we're doing this for him. So and then you can ask them, okay, what are you looking to get done this summer? Maybe we can help you. And they're like, oh, now you've got that trust factor. Go into it. And I think it's just super underutilized to really train your guys to they're not just swinging a hammer, right? Having them talk to the neighbors too, so they can build that rapport and eventually, book more work, and that's good for your workers as well. So it's like, what's the best for your workers to get more jobs? You can pay them more because you have more work coming in.
Hmm. No, totally. Now, a sneaky trick that I used to do when I was knocking on doors, whether it's next door neighbor or just
Yeah.
knocking on doors in general, was let's say you're at the job site, you're at Sarah and Dave's. You go next door, you go, hey, we're at Sarah and Dave's right now. You wait for a confirmation. Oh, Sarah and Dave. Okay. Go, yeah, no, we're just doing some painting work over there. Just want to stop by, see if you potentially need anything done. And I go, oh, no, like we actually just painted the whole place 2 years ago. And I go, hey, no worries at all. We also do staining, throw that in there, whatever. I leave. They don't need my service. I'm not trying to hard sell them. Are you sure? But wouldn't the walls look so great? No, I leave. But before I leave, I go, what was your name? They go, my name's Mancy. I go, fantastic, Mancy. Then I go to the next door over that and I go, hey, so I was just talking to Mancy about getting some painting done. And they go, oh, Mancy. And now I have a full train of just every neighbor's name ever,
Mm-hmm.
immediately establishing trust at the door.
I love it. I think that would be, I mean, think about it. Like you're getting a name and you're building so much trust with the neighborhood,
Yeah.
right? So, and yeah, I mean, Josh, like, why don't you talk to us about a little bit more, even like about your painters, your employees, and how you train them to help out with that.
Hmm. I think, like, first and foremost, when it comes to anything like that, yes, you can make it part of the job. But what I really like to do is I would give all of my painters and production manager 10% of every upsell.
Nice.
right? Because it's like I can go and tell them. I'll be like, hey, go ask him if he needs anything else done or whatever. But they're gonna be like, man, I really just want to finish my painting work, especially if they're working on piecework. Last thing you want to do is have a casual conversation about what else they need done. They're just taking away from their own game,
Hmm.
right? So I go 10% of every single project you send me. One of my painters one year actually said, okay, 10% of everything. So I'm just going to go talk to the neighbor. And we landed a $7,000 exterior job from that. I paid him $700 right there and then.
There you
No
go.
problem. Right out of the deposit because I closed them right there. And it's like incentivizing them to actually want to do that, I think is
Hmm.
huge because it's like everybody can win in that process.
100%. And I'm trying to think like who else out there is thinking about that as another lead, like another way of generating leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get creative. Like I absolutely love that. Great stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Because it's like if they want to do it, they're more inclined to do it. And it's like,
Hmm.
what way can I incentivize them to do it? Probably only monetarily. I can only input so much team spirit, in terms of our goals being aligned without throwing money into the equation. And let's be frank, 10% on a job, if you weren't going to have that job anyways,
Hmm.
whatever, you know?
Totally. It's worth it it's a win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Um, did you do anything like that, or did you just encourage them to go, hey, chat
Mm,
them up?
yeah, for me, it was more of like that's part of the job.
Yeah,
And then I just pay them more like hourly. So it'd
yeah.
just be like it's the same as, hey, I'm gonna have you pick up, the materials now. I'm gonna pay you, extra few bucks an hour. And then, hey, I'm gonna add this for you now that you've gotten to this point. I wanna and then especially the people that want to increase their communication skills. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. What a great win for you. You want to increase your communication skills, and then also I'll pay you more, and you get to talk to the other neighbors and work on it as well. So for them, it's like, okay, awesome. Not just like for the job, but you're also getting paid more hourly, adding that on top. So, I mean, the thing I'm always learning is like, there's no one way to run a business,
No,
but similar concept, right? But at the end of the day, it's always going to be what's the best for the client, what's the best for your worker, what are their goals, and then working to build upon that.
there's a common phrase in boxing, and it's essentially styles make fights, and it essentially comes down to it's like, well, if the guy you're fighting has a mean right hook, it's like, well, you're going to have to adjust your fighting style to that mean right hook that's coming your way. And it's kind of the same way in business in the regard that it's like the style of your business has to reflect the market in which that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because it's like, I don't know about you, but I find like super upscale neighborhoods don't love people knocking on their door. I still do it, don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but maybe that's a place to introduce more flyers. Maybe
Totally.
that's a place to introduce more Facebook marketing because it's like the one size fits all solution for a business just in general doesn't exist, as you said.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's a cliche, right? You got to adapt no matter what, or your business will end up failing later down the road, right? So, upscale neighborhoods are just going to be different. And yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
right. We still knock. It still works.
Yep.
So, always doing what's different and what other people aren't willing to do. So, I mean, I remember there'd be times it'd be raining and we're still out there knocking on doors. So people would just invite me, oh my God, like come invite you in. Like some offered like coffee and stuff. And it's like, yeah,
Yep.
I want to stand out. I want to meet you guys. I want to be that person that, everyone else is at home because it's raining, but here we are, right? At your
Mm-hmm.
doorstep. Like we're those guys. So it's it's a cool thing that you can actually learn it by doing it. So,
Yeah, of course. But think about it too. It's like, what does that say about the person? It's like, obviously they're dedicated. It's like, okay, how one person does one thing is how they do everything. Okay, so they're probably going to be fairly dedicated to my painting project and not leave me hanging if they're outside,
mhm.
knocking in the rain or the snow. I used to get so pissed with my one marketer because he would always get uh inside somehow. Like we had it twice in a marketing session where he's like, I just went inside and had tea. I'm like, yo, this is the second time that you've had tea this marketing session, dude. Rapport is only so much, you know what I mean? The season's hot right now. What
Mhm.
can we be doing to keep that lead flow going for the colder season?
Yeah, I would say even right now, it's like yes, there's going to be some people that absolutely want their jobs done right now, ASAP. And of course, you can't do exterior in the winter if it's snowing where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really is just all about expectation setting, and like the more marketing you do, the more chances you'll find that person that's willing to, wait a few months or even wait till the winter, and maybe you offer them a discount. Maybe it's not as urgent as an interior color change, stuff like that. And again, it comes back to, okay, how can I make this work? Well, the only way I can get those jobs is by marketing more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can find that needle in the haystack. And then guess what? The more you do it, now you found a bunch of those leads where you can keep for the winter. You can call it the winter promotion. It's like, oh, you're like right now it's May. I have to focus on my exteriors. Doesn't mean I'm just not going to do interiors at all, but I can only do so many interiors, and then continue. And it's like, hey, I will give you a discount for the winter months if you can wait, and some people can't. That's how you know it's urgent. Is like, okay, cool. And then you can, again, ask them questions. When ideally would you want to get it done? Even the why. Like, why even you want to get it done next week? It's like, okay, why next week? Oh, like we have a wedding coming up and a lot of people are coming to our place or whatever, right? It's, oh, gotcha. So you actually can't wait. So then guess what? Okay, cool. I'll find a way, bump them up. But then other people that are like, oh, yeah, I mean, I just want to change it. It's been like 7 years. It's like, okay, what's another 7 months? Yeah, true. I mean, and then you give them discount, everybody wins. But there's so many things. Like, what would you say, like in terms of preparing for the winter months? What did you see?
I was gonna say where like you're offering like incentives in terms of getting it, down the line, whatever, in the colder months or whatever.
Hmm.
And there's a Alex Hermosi thing where it's I think it's in $100 million offers where he talks about it's like you can have the same offer like the entire year and just name it differently and it'll feel like a new offer. Like a lot of times on our Facebook ads, like when I'd be running it in the winter's colder months, it's the Christmas time extravaganza discount, you know?
Yeah,
It's the New Year's resolution special, you
yeah,
know? It's summertime madness discount, and it's like it's 10% all
yeah, yeah.
across the
Nothing
board.
changes.
Nothing's changed at all. But what has changed is the way it's packaged. The
Hmm.
offer is packaged differently. So it feels new, it feels fresh, and it feels like it's actually a deal because people just want a deal.
100%. I love Hermosi. That guy just he just is on another planet in terms of stuff like this. And you're right. It's like it just gives it's almost like another reason to celebrate. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's March, it's my birthday. You guys get 10% off your estimates. It's like
Mm-hmm.
nothing's changed. And it's like, uh, and you're still honest with it, right? Like you're still giving them the
Sure.
10%, right? No,
Yeah.
the number hasn't changed from what I promised you. So yeah, I think it's a great way to keep things together and not change it too much, like right off the bat. So 100%.
Can't remember if I've mentioned this on the podcast already, but something I used to do when I go to estimates is I would always ask them for something because then first of all they're in the habit of already giving me something, which is good. So yeah, I get to the estimate. Oh my god, I forgot my water bottle at home. Please, could I trouble you for just like a glass of water? And then every single time, everyone wants to be the nicest person ever. Oh my god, you must be so thirsty. Do you want ice in it? Oh my gosh, you are lovely. No, no, no. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to writing up the quote under special conditions, I will give them another $100 off and I'll call it like the water discount, and it's like, first of all, it speaks to their good nature
Hmm.
and now they're being rewarded for them being good. But now if they don't sign with me, they feel like their generosity was a waste. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Man, would you use that every estimate?
I feel it out, like
Fair.
it's a wonderful play because it's like I don't watch football at all. But there's different ways to get it in the end zone, you know? So sometimes the play calls for asking for water. Sometimes the play asks for asking them about their paintings. Sometimes the play is playing with their dog. Like you kind of have to see what you're working with, look into your book of book of tricks, and then go from there. But you only gain that from experience.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, right there, right? The experience part. It's one thing I love about you, man, is you just always will try it. Try and
Oh yeah,
just try, right? Whether it's you just don't assume it's going to work or not, and it's like until the actual result comes, it's like, okay, that didn't work. Cool, I'm not going to do that again. Oh, it did work. Okay, I'm going to keep that, kind of handy if I need it. So it's you fail fast so that you can see what works, and I think Hermosi talks about that
totally.
too. So whether it's you or Hermosi, I'll give it to you this time.
Thanks. You can take it on every other one, but no, no. And for those of you that don't know, Jimmy and I used to live together, and the concept and like a running joke that we had in our house was double down,
Yeah.
double down. So it's the same thing with like all these different plays or tactics or marketing strategies or production things. It's like double down, triple down, quadruple down, but just go down every single time because you need to keep on trying it until you'll know it's not going to work. Right? Like you you have to try things more than once in order to know if it works or not. Trying something once and then getting a bad result on it doesn't mean that that thing was necessarily bad. It just definitely means you don't have enough data.
Absolutely. Oh man, that double down advice has honestly one of the best ones I've ever taken in from you because it's like it's so true. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It's like whether it's business or just personal or you're ripping around with your friends. And it's like you double down. It's just yeah. Even with like clients, you build rapport. Sometimes there's more rapport to be built, but you got to keep on going. Maybe like mess around with them and they mess around with you. And it's like you keep doubling down and then you get closer. So now you're treating your clients like part of like, your friends or one of the boys. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's, yeah. How could you not want to just have more rapport like that?
It's also like, I mean, read between the lines even as well, like the authenticity aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what is doubling down? Doubling down is just doubling down. I shouldn't use the word in the definition, but doubling down is just reiterating the behavior of what your first inclination was, right? And it's like if you're just reiterating the behavior of what your first inclination was, it was your first inclination, which means it was true to you. So how could you help but not be authentic and that to come across in your business in your life if you're just up and down?
100%. You're doubling down on who you are. Amazing.
We're gonna
Um,
name this doubling down. We gotta.
I think we do. Why is it named Doubling Down?
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. This has been the Off the Tools podcast, and we'll see you guys in the next.
Cheers.